नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं हूं रोहित पराडकर और ये है स्कोडा की नई एलरॉक। इट्स अ न्यू ईवी दैट वाज रिवील्ड टुडे इन प्राग। आइए देखते हैं क्या खास है इस गाड़ी के बारे में। जैसे मैंने कहा, दिस इज़ कॉल्ड द एलरॉक। थिंक ऑफ इट एज एन इलेक्ट्रिफाइड वेरिएशन ऑन द सेम फुटप्रिंट एज द स्कोडा कारोक। कारोक इंडिया में थोड़े टाइम के लिए आई थी, उसी साइज़ की गाड़ी है ये। सो बेसिकली इट इज़ बिगर देन द कुशाक, स्मॉलर देन द कोडियक। ईवी है, सो इट्स गोना सिट अंडर द एनियाक इन दैट सेंस। आपको इसमें 3 बैटरी ऑप्शंस मिलने वाले हैं। वन at the base is the 55 kilowatt hour battery pack, उसके ऊपर है 62 kilowatt hour battery pack, and above that is a 82 kilowatt hour battery pack. Now these batteries can support a fast charging of up to 175 kilowatt, so that is pretty good. So 10 to 80% is doable in about 30 minutes, so that's again very good. So here you can see the charging system, that's right there. और चार्जिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, सो लेट मी शो यू वन वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग. सो लेट्स चेक आउट द बूट. इट्स अ 470 लीटर बूट, पावर टेलगेट है. लेकिन यूजुअली जो हमारा चार्जिंग इक्विपमेंट होता है वो यहाँ पे नीचे जाता है. इट विल यूज़ सम ऑफ द स्पेस, या फिर कभी कभी सामने की तरफ जाता है, राइट. हियर Skoda, typical Skoda, simply clever, right? So they've just engineered a very simple mechanism, that is this particular net, और इस net में वो पूरी charging equipment आपकी fit हो जाएगी. So the charging cable, your charger, all of that will just fit in over here very nicely, so you don't really have to compromise much on the boot space. और boot space की बात कर रहे हैं, so like I said, 470 liters है. You get this rubberized mat, which can also be used the other way if you want. And if you want to keep some dirty stuff, then obviously you can use the rubberized side of it. You get a 40-20-40 split. No, wait, sorry, this is a 60-40. This is a 60-40 split, but you can always drop the center section if you need. अब यहाँ पे और बढ़िया चीज़ ये की है कि you again have multiple layers जहाँ आप स्टोरेज कर सकते हो. So that is another good thing. You also get this 12-volt socket right here. You get this little light, and then you get these hooks. So slightly heavier items के लिए ये वाला hook है, light items के लिए ये. You can also use that for more cargo nets if you need. Similar arrangement is on this side as well. But यहाँ पे आपको नज़र आएगा, you have a cubby hole here. Instead of that, what you get here is this elastic band. So that is what you're going to get. Your boot is very usable in that sense. The charging equipment is not going to hamper anything. So that's a very clever arrangement. The other bits are going to be, of course, a 360-degree camera, because this is the top end variant, but we'll come to that in a bit. We'll continue with the clever features first. Simply clever. So as always, as with any other Skoda, you're also going to get an umbrella right here in the door. Just that these edges could have been a little better. Almost cut myself there. You get this nice multi-layered finish over here as well. जो हमने boot में देखा वैसे एक multi-layered finish यहाँ पे मिलता है. In fact, these buttons are hid behind this particular panel. So I think that is another little nice touch. Materials are very good. You get this soft lining even for something as basic as a door pocket जो आप बार बार touch नहीं करने वाले. So you get that. You get the Canton audio, again something similar to what we've seen on many other Skoda cars. Boot opening lid यहाँ से है, boot opening button, sorry. And then one interesting bit is the steering that you see here is the 2-spoke steering, but I'm going to take you to other cars of the Elroq range जहाँ पे आपको standard 3-spoke steering wheel भी मिलता है. Now you also see this orange stitching. You will see it on the dashboard, you will see it in the upholstery, and all the materials, including this little stitching that you see, is all made using sustainable materials, right? So मैं बाहर जाके डिज़ाइन की बात करूँगा वापस, but since we are inside, let's just talk about the cabin as well. So you get this massive 13-inch screen, okay, and yeah, it's just being set up right now. यार ये बाद में करते हैं. I don't understand this language. Okay, so yeah, you get this massive 13-inch screen, again something similar to what we've seen in the new Octavia. अगर आपने मेरा Octavia का review देखा है on overdrive, you will know what I'm talking about. So 50% charging फ़िलहाल हुआ है इस गाड़ी का. So you get the charging status right here. This is where you'll get the media information. And one other good thing that I saw on the other car, yeah, so you get this vehicle पिक्चर राइट हियर विद ऑल दीज कॉल आउट्स, तो आप यहीं से जो कुछ चाहिए वो चेंजेस फटाफट कर सकते हो. सो जैसे मैंने टायर्स पे क्लिक किया तो यहाँ पे टायर प्रेशर मॉनिटरिंग सिस्टम है, या फिर अगर हेडलाइट्स पे मैं क्लिक कर रहा हूँ, सो यू कैन हैव योर डिफरेंट थिंग्स फॉर द हेडलाइट्स. सो यू गेट मैट्रिक्स हेडलाइट्स अप फ्रंट, वील गो आउट एंड चेक दैट एज वेल. You get ADAS functionality in here as well, so that is also quite nicely done. Now the instrumentation, just check that out, it is so tiny. If I again move back to the wide angle camera, just check out how tiny that instrumentation is. बहुत ही छोटा सा ये instrumentation यहाँ पे दिया है, but you get a heads up display. I guess you can see a little bit of that over there. Well, you get a heads up display. उसके लिए ये एक बढ़िया सा पैनल उसके ऊपर लगाया उन्होंने, और उसके पीछे the heads up display is hiding. So and you can see the Skoda thing also written over there. काफ़ी बड़ा heads up display है. This is huge. So it is almost like augmented reality, and it is casting stuff right in your line of sight. So it's quite nice. I really want to see how this functions out on the road. गाड़ी हम फिलहाल नहीं चला रहे हैं. We are only here to witness the launch of this vehicle, but that heads up display is something that I really want to check out. Another tiny thing is this rear view mirror. Now it is quite usable from what I can see, but जैसे ये instrumentation छोटा है वैसे ही एकदम tiny सा ये rear view mirror है. So I quite like the design. Now let's look at the other bits. So जो AC controls हैं और जो ADAS का control है, that is still given to you using physical switches. You also have a mode selector here. So let me just turn on the car. Right. यार ये menu ना बहुत तंग कर रहा है मुझे. Right, so these are the different driving modes that you get: eco, normal, sport and individual. So these are the driving modes. Now base model का power output जो है वो 125 kilowatts का power output है. I don't have the power outputs for the higher end variants just yet, but obviously it's going to be much better, and it's going to be comparable to the ENIAC. Continuing with our walk around, you get two USB-C ports right here. You also get a wireless charging pad right here. You get two cup holders, one small, one big. So अगर छोटी bottles या छोटा cup आपको रखना है, that can go there. Espresso अगर रखना है, you can do that. And yeah, you can even change the layout. अगर छोटा यहाँ बड़ा यहाँ चाहिए वो. If your spouse says no, let's both get the same size, you can do that. And if that's not the case, then you can do this also. Again, simply clever, right? You get more storage bins here. जो gear selector है या जो drive selector, let's put it that way, it's an electric. So जो drive selector है, that's that stubby little knob जो हमने Octavia में भी देखा था. कुशा क्या सुपर्ब में यहाँ पे ड्राइव सेलेक्टर आता है थोड़ा बहुत मर्सिडीज बेंज की तरह, बट यहाँ पे ये ऑक्टाविया की तरह इन्होंने दिया है. सो व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स अबाउट दैट? लेट मी नो. द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक पार्किंग ब्रेक इज हियर, एंड यहाँ पे दो कॉइन होल्डर बिकॉज अगेन स्कोडा. अगेन अ लिटिल टैग होल्डर ओवर देयर ऑन द विंड स्क्रीन, यू कैन सी देयर, या बिकॉज अगेन स्कोडा. You get some cubby holes over here, in fact quite a lot of space in there. Double decker arrangement, and speaking of double decker arrangement, you get a double decker arrangement out here as well. So again, you get the ambient lighting in there. So this is something that we are seeing with a lot of EVs, and that continues here too. They haven't done anything too fancy with the AC vents. The AC vents are pretty conventional. The light switches are right there, so all of that is pretty conventional. Even your pedals, nothing too fancy there. काफ़ी बड़ा एक आपको डेड पेडल यहाँ पे दिया है. एक्सेलरेटर एंड ब्रेक पेडल्स आर very nicely spaced out despite this being a slightly compact vehicle, and you can see my knee is not really touching anywhere. So in terms of the space, it is brilliant up front as well, right? So your start button is right on the side. अब एक बार rear seat space भी देख लेते हैं. Let's also take a look at the rear seats. Right, so the usual suspects are again here, जैसे कि ये छोटा सा cell phone holder या phablet holder, and then document holder right here. You get these rear AC vents. Rear seats are also heated here for this market, and then you get even more storage space down here. And for better under thigh support, they have these slightly raised quads. Again, I think that's a very nice touch. And then you get these orange seat belts, front and rear both, which is matching that orange stitching that we saw on the seats. तो ये काफ़ी बढ़िया टच है. एंड यहाँ से यू कैन ड्रॉप द सीट्स. हमने जैसे देखा 40-60 स्प्लिट सीट अरेंजमेंट है. देन यू गेट अ फेयरली डिसेंट center armrest as well with two cup holders right here, and again space for your phone. और यहाँ से अगर आपको boot access करना है, you can do that as well. So that is another nice bit. Isofix style seat mounts are only going to be on the either sides, nothing for the center, but you do get a fully adjustable center headrest as well. So whiplash protection for all three passengers is going to be quite good. Ambient lighting आपको नज़र आ रही है, दरवाज़ों में भी दी हुई है, so वो भी एक काफ़ी बढ़िया टच है. So overall जो I think space है काफ़ी बढ़िया है. In fact यहाँ एक बार बैठ के मैं आपको नी रूम दिखा भी देता हूँ. Unfortunately I don't have anyone to shoot me right now, but you can see the knee room is really good, and even the headroom not too bad. I mean, it's brilliant. There is no panoramic roof or anything, but the headroom is simply brilliant. You also get these blinds for the rear seat occupants, and again the quality could have been slightly better. Again, I can see quite a bit of rough edges here, but otherwise the overall quality of the cabin doesn't really leave me complaining. The fit and finish is really good. Materials काफ़ी बढ़िया हैं, और जैसे मैंने कहा, even on something like those door pockets you are getting soft touch materials and everything, so it's really nice. These multi-textured panels are also looking quite nice, so the overall feel is quite upmarket. अब जैसे मैंने कहा 4.5 meters के आसपास इसकी length है, so it is the same footprint as the Karoq, and what you are getting here is the LED in the brow and headlights down below. So matrix LED headlamps हैं इसमें, और एक दूसरी जो डिज़ाइन टच है वो है Skoda का जो lettering है, that's on the bonnet right here. So this is another new design element that you will see. You will not get the Skoda logo there, you get the Skoda lettering. This is their new design philosophy. A modern solid is what they call it, and that design is now going to come to the Kailak as well. So the Kailak, let me remind you, is their sub 4 meter vehicle जो नवंबर में लॉन्च होगी, और यही डिज़ाइन फिलॉसफी उसके ऊपर भी आएगी. And I'm hoping they bring in some nice colors like this to the Kailak as well. And this design philosophy I think should look good on the Kailak. So while we chat, let's also just go in there. Like I was saying, you get matrix LED tech, so you can see the blue car right there. It's now much better visible for you. So you get the matrix LED tech, and this car is the Elroq Sportline. तो Sportline में आपको black ORVMs मिलने वाले हैं. You're going to get a black treatment for the window line as well. And then if you look at the front bumper, जो नीचे की skid plate है, वो भी gloss black में finish की गई है. यही अगर हम standard Elroq को देखें, so you get a satin finish for the skid plate, and the mirrors are body colored, and the window trimming has that satin finish again. Even the wheels are going to be different. This one is going to give you that diamond cut finish with plenty of black accents in it. जो ये matte black lining आपको नज़र आ रही है, which is on the bumper and underscoring the entire car, वो that is going to be standard. एक design touch जो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, that's those grills gills that you see on right over the wheel arch. So that is one design theme that I'm really liking. Some people, I heard them saying it looks a bit too busy, but I think it looks quite nice. एक डिज़ाइन टच जो छोटा सा यहाँ पे देना चाहिए था, you see that little quarter glass, I think it should have been extended all the way. That probably would have looked a little bit nicer in my opinion. You also see the arrangement for the heads-up display right there. काफ़ी बड़ा है वो, जैसे मैंने कहा. So I really want to see how that works in the real world. But I think, as always, the Sportline is the better looking one in the entire range. It definitely looks a lot better than the standard. But if you have other thoughts, let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts? Do you like this one better or the Sportline? Sportline also gets you those black roof rails that you see on top. And because the headlights are on here, let's also take a look at the tail lights. Now, tail lights, they haven't really played too much with the design. ये वही design philosophy है जो हमने Karoq पे देखी है, current Kodiaq पे देखी है, that is sold in the Indian market. Of course, there is a bit more detailing inspired by that Bohemian crystal work. So all that is right there. But yeah, you get the point. It's not as different in the rear as it is in the front. Of course, EV only, so no tailpipes. They're not going to do an ICE variation of this. It is going to be electric only. And like I said, 3 battery options is what you're going to get. But are you going to get that in India? Now that is the big question. Skoda बोल तो रहा है कि they are considering the Elroq for the Indian market. And if it comes, it is going to be around that same bracket where the Karoq was, क्योंकि यूरोप में 33,000 euros से ये गाड़ी चालू हो रही है, which is very similar to the Karoq's pricing right now in Europe. So they are trying to match that, petrol and EV at the same price. So they are trying to match that here. But if it comes to the Indian market, I'm guessing it will be between 28 to 33 lakh rupees, 28 to 40 lakh rupees for the Elroq range. 28 to 33 is the entry point that my guess is, but the top end variants could go all the way up to 40 or even maybe 44, 45 lakh rupees. That is where the Kodiaq is right now. That also means when the new Kodiaq comes out, it will sit at a much higher price tag. Skoda is also considering bringing the Enyaq to India, लेकिन Enyaq अभी बहुत ही जल्द update में जाएगी. There will be a new update that will be given to it. So they will rather consider that instead of bringing the current car to the market, right? So that is the other bit. Now, speaking of the top end variants, you are also going to get the option of an all-wheel drive. So that will be a dual motor setup. So that means you'll get one motor on the front axle and one on the rear. The base models are only going to be rear wheel driven. I don't have the power output for that, like I said, but जो range है, जो base model है, जो single motor setup है, उसमें आपको approximately 350-360 किलोमीटर की रेंज मिलने वाली है, is what Skoda is saying. और जो बड़ा वाला है, जो top end variant है with the dual motor and everything, that will be around 560 kilometers of real world range is what Skoda is claiming. Now, how much of that is true is again something we need to find out when we actually drive the car. I hope we get to drive this real soon. But this is all the info that I have for you right now. I hope you've got all the details that you need from this. Let me know, do you like the standard Elroq more or the Sportline? I personally like the Sportline a lot more. I think it looks brilliant, and if they were to bring it to India, they should consider bringing the Sportline as well as the standard models, is what I believe. I'm also really looking forward to seeing this design theme on the Kailak. November के first week में Kailak Indian market में reveal होगी. December के आसपास उसके sales भी चालू हो जाएंगे, is what we hear. So this particular design, this face, if they are able to migrate it to the Kailak, that would be really amazing. So that's something that I want to see. And before I sign off, let me also quickly show you the cabin of the Sportline. You get this all black interior, और जैसे मैं कह रहा था, some variants have the 3-spoke setup. So you get that 3-spoke setup for the steering wheel. You will also see the paddles behind the steering wheel that are going to make changes to the level of regen that you get with this vehicle. So, what are your thoughts about this vehicle? That's the all important question. Let me know in the comments. Do you like what you see? Do you like the Elroq? What do you think about the specs? What do you think about the price estimate that I'm talking about? Do you think it can dent the fortunes of the Creta EV? Because that is going to be the real big deal in that segment. And there's of course the Curve EV from Tata and the MG ZS EV as well. Curve EV, it's a coupe crossover, तो उसका थोड़ा सा जो market response है वो polarizing रहा है, और MG ZS EV, we don't see too many of them on the road, but with the battery as a service model, maybe that might just change, क्योंकि वो उसके लिए भी apply हुआ है अभी. So yeah, the Creta EV is the real target for the Elroq Sportline when it comes. Let me know, what are your thoughts? And if you've hung around till here, thank you so much. I know it's been a really long video, but I hope I've covered all the details for you. Thank you so much for watching this one. Until the next one, take care and drive safe.